I think the bear was auditing to see if there was any waste.
Well, it looks like DOGE just uncovered one of the biggest overpayments that they have found so far. $2.7 trillion in Medicare and Medicaid going overseas. Who got that money? That's 8% of our national debt. It went overseas and nobody knows. Nobody knows where it is. No wonder our healthcare system here in the United States is so fucked up. That's 7.5% of our $36 trillion U.S. debt. Like, I can't even believe the stuff that they're uncovering. Like, no wonder we're in so much debt. No wonder, like, people can't afford to put food on their table here in the United States. Like, there should be nobody in this country that should be homeless or that should be going hungry. Nobody. And this needs to be fixed. And thank God for Elon. Thank God they are finding this out now.
Then again, I did find something very interesting. You can see the age range and the count of people with a social security number. But as you can see, we can keep going down. We have social security number for people above the age of 100. Even one of 360, 369, there's actually one person with a social security number. But by Aiden Hiko's calculation, 394 million, but the population is only 334 million. That doesn't make any sense. This is a massive fraud red flag. Over 20 million people listed as 100 years old in the SS database. Time for serious audit. Either we've got immortals gaming the system or major data integrity issue. All I have to say is, ladies and gentlemen, audits is usually good.
You're fired! Listen, all the Elon Trump stuff, it's getting to a point, man. It's getting like somebody is going to have to, preferably someone who's already doing it, you know, so one of y'all. But somebody's going to have to just throw their life away on this one, you know. Just kind of take one for the team, you know, just somebody has got to just, you know, kind of get in there and go make history. You know who you are. You know who you are. So just buck up and do your duty, you know.
Me.
Go directly to jail.
And then Elon Musk tweeted this out. And I know people are going to say we are defending this guy's freedom of speech. But Elon Musk's freedom of speech of tweeting this out is hate speech. Just like in Germany.
People are really scared. I think that, 12 days ago, people knew where their next paycheck was coming from. They knew how they were going to pay for their kids' daycare, their medical bills, and then all gone overnight.
All gone overnight for Christina Dry and Adam Dubard, fired this month in the chaotic shutdown of foreign aid distributed by the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. More than 8,000 USAID employees were sent home by the administration.
They're not looking for competency. They're not looking for if you're good at your job. They're looking for pure loyalty tests. And if you don't give it, you will be punished.
And they had to leave the building. And these are folks who had decades and decades of public service serving USAID across administrations, from, George Bush to Obama to the first Trump administration. And they were never able to walk back in the building again.
There was no process. No one explained to them why they were being relieved.
To my knowledge, they received an email, and then if they didn't leave the building, they were escorted out of the building.
That's a lie.
And as usual, they lie. 12 days ago, people knew where their next paycheck was coming from. Okay, they got community noted. Every single one of these employees were offered 8 months of severance pay with a link. You can click over there. You can go over there and make a choice. And if you didn't make a choice, well, you got fired. I mean, you had a choice. You just didn't accept it.
Good day, folks. You know what pisses me off the most is that the people that came to this country and want a good life here and want to become an American, and yet they're out there waving their fucking flag, protesting this and that, all that shit. If you are legal, what the fuck do you have to worry about? Unless you do some dumb shit and you worry about getting deported. Okay? People like me came here legally through the process. We're Americans. Okay? We love this country. We love the flag, the American flag, the America. The red, white, and blue. Okay? We don't care about our flag. Because we left that shit behind. Okay? You dumb son of a bitch do some dumb shit with your flags. You might well take that flag and shove it up your ass and go back where you come from. Motherfucker. If I see you on the road waving your flag, I will call ICE because I get $750 each, bitch.
I come from a time when I moved to Holland. I need to speak the language and I need to understand their laws and constitution. And if I don't like it, I would have been deported and I would have lost my scholarship. I thought that was normal.
That's racist.
If they advise that now for any country right now in 2025, I'm the bad person and I might activate hate speech.
Says he often works 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes starting as early as 3 a.m. But the pay is better than back home.
Does your family depend on your salary here in the U.S.?
My mother and my siblings, of course. But since I have my dad here, he also sends them money. Nationally, more than half the workers in the dairy industry are undocumented. Like Kevin, many leave behind loved ones for wages that are below what American workers get.
Some people would be saying that you could be right now hiring American workers to do this job, and that the only reason you're not doing that is because you can pay immigrants less. How would you respond to that?
If I hired Americans to do the work, I would have to pay probably about $100,000 a year per person, and they would only work 40, 50 hours a week. I would be out of business within 6 months. I couldn't afford it. If the price of milk was, or like a gallon of milk cost $10 in the store, then I could probably do that.
And now it makes sense. Now I understand why Democrats want this so much. They might get a vote and somebody is working very hard because their defense was, who is going to work in the farms and do all the work with the cows? I've heard it before. All I see is overregulated milk. They can't make any money. So they can use gangster ways to make money and maybe possible slave condition working 12 hours, 6 days a week when nobody these days want to do this work because it's my human right to not work that hard. But they should. Bad power! Some people might even say that the party is angry because they took away their workers. Again.
What would you say to Donald Trump, Minister Sikorsky? we have more chairs. We have more chairs.
I would tell him three things. Number one, Joe Biden was your successor and predecessor, but he planted the flag of the United States in downtown Kiev and declared on behalf of the United States that the US will be with Ukraine for as long as it takes until Ukraine secures its independence. Therefore, the credibility of the United States depends on how this war ends. Not just the Trump administration, the United States itself. I would secondly tell him that if you allow Putin to vassalize Ukraine, that will send a message to China that you can recover what you regard as a renegade province. And that would have direct consequences for US grand strategy, for the US system of alliances, and possibly for the future of Taiwan. And I would thirdly tell him that we Europeans control the Nobel Peace Prize.
To this day! To this day!
If you want to earn it, the peace has to be fair.
Very clear.
Can you imagine you have the power to stop a war, but somebody tells you, well, if you don't stop the war the way I like it, if you bring peace in a way that I don't like it, I'm not going to give you a Nobel Prize. That is, I don't know. You're a narcissist if you can actually say that.
Don't get me wrong, ako sa kita bong, puta fire na mi blonde, kush hash purple skunk, criollo colombici jam jam, turlo, keta verdeta, welcome.